If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, stop and listen to this first. At 82, I thought I'd seen enough of life to make wise decisions. But there's one choice I look back on with a heavy heart: moving into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed reasonable. My family wanted what was best for me. They said I'd have the care, safety, and comfort I needed. I trusted them. I told myself, this is what people my age do when things get harder. But once I stepped inside, I quickly realized I had left behind far more than just my house. I had unknowingly surrendered the very pieces of my identity that made life feel like mine. You see, people often talk about nursing homes like they're a gentle solution, a place to relax, to be taken care of, to slow down. But what they don't mention is how deeply it can change you, how hard it is to hold on to your independence, your sense of self, even your will to keep moving forward. And here's the truth: once you move in, getting out isn't as simple as packing your bags. Life doesn't just pause while you adjust, transforms, and sometimes not for the better. That's why I'm sharing this. Not for sympathy, but to give you the kind of honest perspective I wish someone had given me. Because maybe you, or someone you love's, thinking about making that same decision. And before you do, I want to share 6 things I've come to regret. 6 things I never expected, but now live with every single day. So stay with me. These aren't just regrets, they're wake-up calls. And if they help even one person rethink their path, then telling my story will have been worth it. Let me tell you something: no one warned me about what it really feels like to lose your independence. When I first moved into the nursing home, I thought I was just changing where I slept. I had no idea I was giving up something much bigger: the freedom to live life on my own terms. Back at home, I decided when to get up, what to eat, when to rest, or even when to take a quiet walk in the garden. I had my little routines, nothing grand, just simple things that made me feel in control of my day. But once I moved in, all of that disappeared. Breakfast at 7:30, whether you're hungry or not. Lights out by 9, even if your mind's still wide awake, want to go outside. You'll need permission and someone to walk you out. Even choosing what to wear or what to eat sometimes feels like a favor instead of a right. I remember one morning, I woke up and reached for a book like I used to at home, but the room felt unfamiliar. The chair wasn't mine. The air was still, like it belonged to someone else. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't living life anymore. I was following a schedule built for someone I didn't recognize. It's not that the staff don't care. Many of them truly do. But in a system built for efficiency, personal freedom slowly fades into the background. And here's the part I didn't expect. The longer you stay, the easier it gets to stop fighting it. You go along, you adapt. And before you know it, the fire inside dims just a little. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Aging and Health found that seniors living in institutional care reported a 35% higher rate of identity loss compared to those in supported home care. So ask yourself this: are you ready to give up the little freedoms that make your life yours? Because once they're gone, they're not easy to get back. There's a moment I'll never forget. It was a Sunday afternoon, a few months after I'd moved into the nursing home. I sat by the window in the common room, watching the clock tick, waiting for a visit that never came. When I first moved in, my family promised they'd visit often, and, at first, they did. My daughter stopped by every week. The grandkids came on weekends. For a while, it felt like I still had one foot in my old life. But time has a way of shifting things. One visit became a phone call, then the calls got shorter, less frequent, and before long, the silence settled in. Holidays were the hardest. "We'll be there, Mum. We'll make it work." But something always came up. Traffic, work. Someone wasn't feeling well. I get it. Life doesn't stop just because you're sitting in a room, waiting for it to find you again. I started to see it in the faces of the people around me. Eyes drifting to the door whenever footsteps echoed down the hall. That quiet hope that today might be your day, the day someone remembers. The truth is, even when your family loves you deeply, out of sight really can become out of mind. Not out of neglect, but out of life just moving on without you. I remember once holding my phone, debating whether to call my son, but I didn't want to sound needy. I didn't want to be a burden, so I put the phone down. That's the kind of loneliness no one prepares you for. So ask yourself this: are you ready for a life where love still exists, but feels just out of reach? Because in a nursing home, emotional distance can grow faster than you think. One of the biggest surprises about moving into a nursing home wasn't the quiet, it was the emptiness. Not just in the hallways or the rooms, but inside. Back home, even the smallest tasks had meaning. I'd wake up, brew my own coffee, water the plants, tidy the living room. These weren't chores, they were little rituals, little reasons to get out of bed and start the day. They gave my life rhythm, and more than that, they gave it purpose. But here, everything is done for you. Meals arrive like clockwork. The cleaning is taken care of. There are no plants to water, no dishes to scrub, no real decisions to make. And at first, I'll admit, it felt like a vacation. No responsibilities, no to-do list, just rest. But rest eventually turns into waiting. Waiting for the next meal, the next check-in, the next sunrise. I saw it happen in others too. George He was a carpenter for over 40 years, built furniture with his bare hands, always working on something in his garage. Now he sits by the window, staring out. No wood, no tools, no projects. One day he told me, "I feel like I'm not useful anymore." And I knew exactly what he meant. Because when you stop having something to care about, something to do, time stretches and your spirit shrinks. So before you consider this path, ask yourself, what gives your life meaning, and will you still have it when you move into a place where everything is done for you? Purpose isn't just a word, it's the fuel that keeps us going. And without it, even the longest days can feel painfully empty. Here's something nobody warned me about: how quickly your body can change when you stop using it every day. Before I moved into the nursing home, I wasn't running marathons, but I was doing okay. I cooked my own meals, stretched in the mornings, even did a lap around the block most days. Those little actions kept my muscles working and my spirit feeling alive. But once I got here, it all slowed down. Meals were brought to me. Help was just a button away. At first, it felt like comfort, like convenience. But slowly and, without realizing it, I started moving less, sitting more, and before long, my legs began to feel stiff. I'd get out of a chair and wonder, why does this feel harder than before? Then, I saw it happening to others, too. There was Alasati, 1 year old, sharp as a tack, full of energy when she arrived. She used to take daily walks around the building, proudly saying, "I'm not slowing down just because of a number." But over time, she started using a walker. Then, a few months later, a wheelchair. I asked her what happened. She looked at me, sighed, and said, "I don't know when it happened, but it feels like I aged 10 years in just a few months." That's when it hit me. When everything is set up to make life easy, it becomes all too easy to stop pushing yourself. And once your muscles begin to fade, it's not just your body that weakens, it's your confidence to. So I ask you, will you still stay active when no one expects you to be? Because in a place where everything is done for you, use it or lose it isn't just a saying, it's a reality. One I learned the hard way. No one told me how much privacy I'd have to give up, or how deeply it would affect my sense of self. At home, I had my space, my room, my quiet, my freedom to do things my way. If I wanted to sit in silence, close the door, or take a shower, when I pleased, I just did. But here, in the nursing home, privacy becomes a luxury, and over time, it slips away more than you'd expect. From the moment I arrived, I felt watched. Staff came and went, often without notice. Room checks, medication rounds, shared bathrooms. Even getting dressed or using the toilet sometimes meant pressing a button and waiting for help. I understood they were doing their jobs, but that didn't make it easier. There's something deeply personal about needing assistance with things you've done alone your entire life. You start to feel like you're losing more than privacy, you're losing dignity. Then there's the issue of roommates. Not everyone gets a private room. And even if you're lucky, it's still someone you didn't choose. I've heard stories, some roommates are noisy, some struggle with cognitive decline, and some make peaceful rest nearly impossible. I was fortunate to have a kind roommate, but many are not. Even meals felt like a loss of control. If you didn't like what was on the menu, too bad. There's no kitchen to make yourself something else. You eat what's served when it's served. Over time, you start to feel less like a person and more like a patient. Someone managed, scheduled, spoken to in a tone that's more clinical than human. I remember one nurse walking in without knocking, talking over me as if I weren't even in the room. That moment stuck with me, so here's what I ask you to think about. Are you truly prepared to surrender the privacy and autonomy you've known your entire life? Because once it's gone, it doesn't come back easily, and it can quietly take pieces of your identity with it. When I first moved into the nursing home, I told myself it was temporary. Let's just see how it goes, I said. If I don't like it, I'll go back home. That gave me comfort, the illusion of choice, of control. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Leaving isn't as easy as walking out the same door you came in. At first, it seemed simple, but life outside didn't pause while I was in here. My house sat empty, slowly falling into disrepair. My kids, trying to help, started clearing things out, selling furniture, making changes they thought were helpful. They even floated the idea of renting it out. And when I finally mentioned wanting to move back, the hesitation in their eyes said it all. "Are you sure, Dad? Wouldn't it be safer here? We just want what's best for you." And I understood their concern. Because by then, I wasn't the same. Months of being waited on had softened me. My legs weren't as strong. My confidence had slipped. I wasn't sure I could live alone anymore, and that fear kept me stuck. I've met others here with the same story. People who thought they were just trying it out, only to find that going back wasn't just hard, it was impossible. Some had already sold their homes. Others had spent down their savings on care. For many, there was nothing left to return to. That's the part no one warns you about. Entering feels like a reversible choice. But staying too long makes the outside world feel unfamiliar, even unreachable. So ask yourself this: are you prepared for the possibility that once you enter, you might never leave? Because if you're not truly ready, the price of that decision may be more permanent than you think. I want to be clear, I don't regret growing older. Aging in itself is a gift. It means I've lived, loved, and seen more than I ever imagined. But what I do regret is believing that moving into a nursing home was my only option. I thought I was doing the responsible thing. I thought I was making life easier for myself, for my family. But what I didn't realize was how much I'd be giving up in the process. My routines, my privacy, my sense of purpose, even my identity. Now, let me be fair, nursing homes aren't all bad. For some people, they offer necessary care, safety, and stability. And for those who truly need that level of support, they can be a lifeline. But what I've learned, what I wish someone had told me earlier, is that this isn't a decision to make quickly or lightly. If you're still managing at home, even if it's getting tough, fight to stay there just a little longer. Look for home care options. Explore services that support independent living. Ask for help, yes, but don't give up your freedom before you absolutely have to, because once you give it up, getting it back isn't so easy. The life you have right now, your space, your choices, your little daily habits may not seem like much, but trust me, they are more precious than you know. They are what make life feel like yours. So before you make a decision that could change everything, ask yourself, is this truly the best path for me, or just the one that seems easiest right now? Whatever you choose, I hope you do it with full awareness on the courage to protect what makes your life feel alive. Before you make a life-changing decision, pause and ask yourself, is this choice protecting your freedom, more just making things more convenient? Because convenience can cost more than you think. Your routines, your purpose, even your identity. Don't simply choose what's easiest. Choose what keeps your life yours. You've spent a lifetime building your independence. Don't give it up too soon. If this story resonates with you, please share it with someone you love. Sometimes an honest perspective can help someone make a better decision. Leave a comment if you've been through something similar. Your story may help others.